pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. This is a meeting of the Hillsdale Borough Council on the 17th day of December 2019. Notice of the time and place of this meeting has been provided to the Ridgewood News and the Record. A copy was posted on the bulletin board outside of this meeting room and provided to any interested parties. Please notify the municipal clerk for any disability requirements necessary for attendance at mayor and council meetings. The fire exits are located through the double doors to your left. Please silence all cell phones and beepers. Madam Clerk, please have roll call.
Councilmember DeRosa?
Here.
Councilmember Escobar? Councilmember Horvath?
Present.
Councilmember Lendy?
Here.
Councilmember Sagales?
Here.
Council President Gonzalez? Here. Mayor Ruka?
Here. Okay. First order of business is a proclamation for Radon Awareness Month for January 1st through January 31st of 2020. Whereas radon is a naturally occurring radioactive gas that is the second leading cause of lung cancer, and whereas prolonged exposure to radon can kill as many as 500 people in New Jersey each year, and whereas families who reside in homes with elevated radon levels are at risk of developing serious health problems, and whereas any home could have high levels even when neighboring homes do not, and whereas radon testing can be done with great ease at a relatively low expense to the homeowner, with the cost of reducing radon concentrations being comparable to a home repair, and whereas the New Jersey Department of Environmental Protection and the United States Environmental Protection Agency are collaborating during the month of January to promote the need for radon testing in an effort to protect the lives of our state's residents. Now, therefore, be it resolved that I, Mayor John Rucco of the Borough of Hillsdale, do hereby proclaim the month of January as Radon Action Month and call upon residents who have not yet tested their homes for radon to have their homes tested and to reduce radon levels if elevated levels are not found, to protect their families from the serious health risks that come from radon exposure. I also want to add, it's not in the proclamation, but our Board of Health has radon testing kits that are available for, I think they've ordered 300. I could have that number wrong, but they are available, I believe, free, and if not free, they are at a very, very minimal cost, and I mean like just a couple of bucks. For residents to come and get them and test your house for radon. I did it several years ago, found I did have a radon situation in my crawl space. Wasn't over the danger zone, but there was a simple fix to it. And I think in a lot of cases that's the only thing that's necessary.
I don't think they're in yet.
Not yet? Okay. They will.
I didn't know when they are.
Yeah, they will be in, I think, in January. So, I will sign this at the end of tonight's session. Very good. I'll put that here. Next order of business is not on the agenda. It is a presentation. Mr. Gallione, can you join us at the front of the table? Surprised?
Yes, very much. First they gave me breakfast the other day, and now they're giving me some recognition.
Well, you can't eat this, Bob, but this is going to be more lasting than the breakfast. Can I read it?
I love it.
Very good. This is an official commendation of gratitude from the Office of the Mayor, Borough of Hillsdale. Whereas the Borough of Hillsdale was in need of the skills of an experienced and competent borough administrator beginning in mid-October 2019, and whereas the search for such a person with the requisite skills was expected to take at least several months, and whereas it was brought to the attention of the mayor and council that Robert J. Gallione had prior extensive experience as both a mayor and a borough administrator in New Jersey, and had served admirably in several other administrative and leadership capacities, both at Columbia University and at Fairleigh Dickinson University. And whereas Robert J. Gallione agreed to come out of retirement and assist the Borough of Hillsdale by serving as an interim borough administrator and by helping the council recruit a new administrator. Whereas Robert J. Gallione distinguished himself in a relatively brief period of time, endearing himself to Hillsdale elected officials, employees, volunteers, and residents through his experience, decision-making, energy, and extensive list of personnel contacts. Whereas Robert J. Gallione ensured that the various departments of the Hillsdale municipality continued to run effectively and smoothly until a new borough administrator could be chosen. Now therefore, I, John Rucco, Mayor of Hillsdale, express on behalf of the Hillsdale governing body and all Hillsdale residents our sincere thanks and appreciation to Robert J. Gallione for all that he has done for the borough, and wish him happiness and success in all his future endeavors as he departs Hillsdale.
I'm touched. I'm really touched. Thank you. I was lucky to have such a good staff here. That makes jobs a lot easier when you have people that want to do what they do best, and you just let them run with it. So, thank you, Mayor, and thank you, Council.
Thank you.
I've gotten some special acknowledgments from some of the members of the dais, and I might even have something to give you as well, so thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Bob.
While the mayor's coming up here, I just, on a personal note, there are people who come in and out of your life, family, friends, colleagues. Sometimes it's just for a very short period of time, yet they leave a big impact. And this gentleman here is one of those people. In a very short period of time, he's proven himself to be a gentleman, experienced. You helped us out of the bind, and I and everyone out there, I think, will be always thankful to you for your help.
I'm coming back when I return in May, just to visit.
I have to pray.
Bob, I have one thing to say to you. You all right.
Bob, yeah, I think on behalf, the words of the proclamation said it, I think, best, but just to reemphasize, thank you so much for everything you've done. And you've come up with a lot of ideas that you may not have had the time to necessarily implement them all, but I think that they've been planted in my head, in the heads of the council members, and more importantly, in the head of the new borough administrator who's coming in. So I think, the seeds will start to grow a little bit too. Okay. Next order of business is public comment period. We'll have one public comment period tonight because of the way the agenda is structured, and also in anticipation of a relatively long closed session. So I want to open the meeting up for public comment. If anyone would like to come up to the podium and address the council, please do so now. Okay, not seeing anyone. Do I have a motion to adjourn to closed session?
Second?
Okay, all in favor? All opposed? Okay, we'll go into closed session, and I anticipate...
Well,
yeah, I
that's the trick. It should be noted we're going into closed session to discuss hiring of personnel regarding CMFO, police matters, including department size, as well as some personnel allocation within the police department, an NJDEP compliance matter as regards to Centennial Field. I'm going to call it about an hour and a half. I hope I'm wrong, and I hope we expedite the balance, but let's call it that just to be realistic.
Thank you, Council. We had a motion, we had a second, do we took the vote?
Yep.
Roll call? Yep. Okay, good, we're going to go closed. Conducted our business in closed session. Now I need a motion to reconvene to come back into regular meeting.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? There are no minutes to be approved, no professional reports to hear. Council has decided to postpone committee reports in view of time. There's no new business, no correspondence, no items for discussion. That brings us to the adoption of Ordinance 1917. Madam Chairman, you want to read that?
Yeah, it's actually an introduction, 19-17, an ordinance establishing salaries for the staff in the Hillsdale Swimming Pool Commission for the current year 2019 in the Borough of Hillsdale, County of Bergen, State of New Jersey. This is updating Ordinance 1902 for the secretary hourly salary range only.
Okay. So this is for a first reading. Be it resolved that ordinance 1917 does now pass a first reading, that the ordinance be further considered for final passage at a meeting of the mayor and council on December 27th, and at said time and place, all persons interested will be given an opportunity to be heard concerning the same, and the clerk is hereby authorized and directed to publish said ordinance in the Ridgewood News once, at least 1 week prior to said hearing, with a notice of its introduction and of the time and place when and where said ordinance would be considered for final passage. Do I have a motion to introduce?
Motion.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Councilmember Horvath?
Yes.
Councilmember Lundy,
Yes.
Council President Pizzella? Councilmember Sodales?
Yes.
Councilmember DeRosa?
Yes.
Councilmember Escobar?
Okay. Next is the introduction of ordinance 1918 to provide for and determine the rate, amount, and method of payment of compensation to persons holding certain office and positions of employment in the Borough of Hillsdale. Be it resolved that ordinance 1918 does now pass a first reading, that said ordinance be further considered for final passage in a meeting of the mayor and council in the municipal building on December 27th, and at said time and place, all persons interested will be given an opportunity to be heard concerning the same, and the clerk is hereby authorized and directed to publish said ordinance in the Ridgewood News once, at least 1 week prior to said hearing, with a notice of its introduction and of time and place when and where said ordinance would be considered for final passage. Do I have a motion?
Motion.
Second, anyone? Frank Pizzella. Roll call vote?
Councilmember Lundy,
Yes.
Council President Pizzella? Councilmember Sodales?
Yes.
Councilmember DeRosa?
Yes.
Councilmember Escobar?
Yes.
Councilmember Horvath?
Yes.
Okay, now we have resolutions on the consent agenda. Madam Clerk, do you want to read them? There's not that many.
Resolution 19308, payment of bills. Resolution 19309 is a resolution authorizing the refund of the performance guarantee for 270 Knickerbocker Avenue, which is Block 1212, Lot 13. Resolution 19310 is a resolution authorizing the execution of an interlocal agreement for the establishment of the public safety answering point telephone system by and between the Borough of Paramus and the Borough of Hillsdale. Resolution 19311 is a resolution approving the Municipal Alliance Grant, the Governor's Council on Alcoholism and Drug Abuse Fiscal Grant Cycle July 2020 through June 2025. Resolution 19312 is a resolution for the Borough of Hillsdale to confirm endorsement of a community development project through CARE Plus. Resolution 19313 is a resolution for the Borough of Hillsdale to confirm endorsement of community development project through Bergen County Home Investment Partnership. Resolution 19314 is a resolution authorizing the Education Services Commission of New Jersey Cooperative Pricing System, 65 MCES-CCPS, bid number ESCNJ 17/18-44, for the purchase of a 2019 Chevy Tahoe. Resolution 19315 is a resolution approving the purchase of police car lights and accessories from the State of New Jersey Cooperative Purchasing Program, NJSA 48:11-12A. Resolution 19316 is a resolution accepting the proposal by NW Financial Group LLC for the redevelopment consulting services for the Borough of Hillsdale. And Resolution 19317 is a resolution providing for the insertion of any special item of revenue in the budget of any county or municipality pursuant to NJSA 48:4-87, Chapter 159, for the Radon Awareness Program.
Would anyone like any of these pulled for discussion? Okay, not hearing anyone, we'll keep the vote on them all together. Do I have a motion to approve all the resolutions?
Second.
Okay, roll call vote, please.
Council President Pizzella?
Yes.
Councilmember Sodales?
Yes.
Councilmember DeRosa?
Yes.
Councilmember Escobar?
Yes.
Councilmember Horvath?
Yes.
Councilmember Lundy.
Yes.
We have one resolution on an off-consent agenda. It's R 19318, resolution increasing the price of the services of Balatano Contracting for additional work that was done in Veterans Park to improve the park, change order number 1. This resolution was pulled from the December 10th meeting. Do we need, he's not here. That was not tabled. That was the question. Okay. So it was just pulled? It was tabled. Thank you, Stephen. So then I'll need a motion to untable this.
Motion on table and vote on R 19318.
Second.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Okay, so we have it now on the floor. It's been untabled. I read the resolution. Do I have a motion to approve it?
Motion.
Second.
Okay, roll call vote, please.
Councilmember Sodales?
Yes.
Councilmember DeRosa?
Yes.
Councilmember Escobar?
Yes.
Councilmember Horvath?
Yes.
Councilmember Lundy,
Yes.
Council President Gonzalez?
This brings us to council commentaries. Do you want to start, Mrs. Lundy?
Sure, I'll be brief. And I would like to thank our interim borough administrator, Mr. Gallione. I will look upon your tenure with Hillsdale very fondly. You're a breath of fresh air, and it's very nice working with you. I also would like to thank Councilman Sagalas. I believe this will be his last meeting tonight, and it's been a pleasure working with you. We lose something with your being here. I hope that you'll continue to stay involved in Hillsdale, and thank you again for your service. Also want to wish everybody Happy Hanukkah, Merry Christmas, and safe, happy holidays with your families.
Councilman Sagalas?
It's great humility that I'd like to give a special thank you to the fire department. They provided me an opportunity to ride for a short distance with their Santa Claus last night. You see them driving around town, bringing so much joy to people's faces. People in cars pulling over and waving, adults, seniors, kids coming out of their houses, running to the edges of their lawn. And the volunteers who are up on those trucks literally spend upwards of 2 hours dodging branches, dodging low-hanging wires, all for the opportunity to put a smile on people's faces. They're really some of the angels that we have in this town. This is a tough time of year for a lot of people. I lost a colleague who unfortunately left from the Verrazano Bridge a week ago Saturday, at only 50 years of age. And I just hope that people will remember to be mindful when you're driving down the street or you're stopped at a light and the person in front of you doesn't move quick enough. Is it really worth being that excited over to lean on your horn or get agitated? Take a moment, breathe. Remember that the person that you're honking or cursing at is somebody's son, somebody's daughter, somebody's parent, grandparent, uncle, or brother. Last, and I know I've gone on at some length already, I'd like to thank the borough, the emergency services, department heads, my fellow council members and the mayor for having had the opportunity to serve, to cast some votes that I believe are instrumental in helping to shape the town's future in a secure and fiscally appropriate manner, while still remembering that the people who are impacted by the votes that we make up here are human beings. It's been a humbling and educational experience, and I'm honored to have had the opportunity to serve, and look forward to other opportunities of service that may present themselves in the future. Thank you.
Councilman Pizarro?
I really have dreaded this night for a very long time, because it really meant saying goodbye to somebody that I think is an excellent council person and just an all-around great guy, and just an intellect, an immense intellect. It's been an honor to have run with you, to have worked on council with you, and to be your friend. You've always given it your 100%. You've been a force to reckon with. I know that we will miss you, especially during one of those really litigious, complicated messes that only you know how to think of a creative way out. At least I know I will feel your absence almost immediately. And I hope you stay involved and you remain willing to come around and give advice and give input during some of those difficult times. I just can't tell you how much of a blessing it was to have you as a friend and to have you on council. I sincerely mean it. Also, on a lighter note, Uncle Sal, what can I say? Somewhere soon after meeting you, and not so soon thereafter, I already started to feel sad. You know, I mean, you're so familiar to me, and you're very different from what I have to deal with on a daily basis. Yet at the same time, there's this familiarity that I remember so well. You know, we drink from the same water, and we breathe from the same air. You will always be missed by me. And I just want to wish everybody a very Merry Christmas and Happy Hanukkah. And that's it.
Councilman Escobar?
This past year, I just wanted to tell a couple of councils, it's been a pleasure working with you. It's been a pleasure knowing you. You will be missed around here. I think your heart's in the right place, which, if anybody knows me, that's how I gauge people by. And I just, and I hope you stay well, and I hope to see you around town. And for an administrator, it's sad to see you go. Hope we can change your mind. You know, I look forward to working with Chris. It's been a pleasure having you around. You're like the uncle, I would say. You know, Ray. That I usually never had. So it was such a pleasure, and I just wish you the best in all your future endeavors. And I'd like to wish everybody Merry Christmas and Happy Hanukkah as well. Your families, stay safe, and see you next year.
Thank you. Councilman Horvath?
I would just like to say ditto for what everybody said. I absolutely concur. Steve, it was a pleasure serving with you. You were definitely an inspiration. I learned a lot from you, and you will definitely be missed. Bob, it was a big pleasure to have you here. You accomplished more in a few weeks that you've been here than we've been trying to accomplish for the last number of years. So you're my hero.
You honor me. Wait till my wife sees the plaque.
And I would just like to wish everybody a happy holiday, and looking forward to a new year serving with all of you.
Thank you, Councilman. Councilman DeRosa?
I just want to remind everybody with these last few days of holiday shopping that to shop local. You get your Christmas tree wreath spread across the street. There's restaurants and salons where you can get gift cards, so just shop local and keep the money in our town. I already spoke about Bob. Like I said, it's, you know, people come in and out of your life, and sometimes it's just for a short period of time. It was a short period of time, but we got a lot done with your help, and I enjoyed working with you for a short time. Hopefully we'll still see you around. Councilman Cialis, I thank you for your time on council. You have brought an attorney's perspective to the council in the very best sense of the word. You've helped us with negotiations, with contracts, with litigation, code simplification, and you even increased our vocabulary by your own day. And you made us laugh too. Your personality and experience will be missed. I wish you the best, and just know that you made a difference in this town. Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, everybody. Stay safe.
Thank you, Councilman. Bob, I want to thank you for your service. I think the commendation says it all from my perspective and the council, so I don't think there's anything I could add to that. Stephen, I want to thank you for your willingness to serve on the council for these past 3 years. And most residents don't understand the commitment that's needed and the challenges and the potential time that elected officials at our level face. They think, what the hell? It's like it's not like, you know, he's a senator or he's a congressman or a governor. And that's true, but a council member is a member of a much smaller local community. And I'm sure you feel, as I do, there's a special commitment to the residents to do the very best that you could, and you did. Council members have to balance careers with their official duties, and while continuing to nurture, you know, your family life as well. And I know how much that means to you. Council members have to be attentive, respond to questions that arise not only during council meeting, but also via emails and via committee meetings, and they have to have thick skins. And if you're going to do what's right for the town as a whole, I've always said someone's ox is bound to be gored. And I can't tell you the number of times I've heard from acquaintances, I can never do what you as a councilman or you as a mayor do. Why do you do it? And there's no right or wrong answer. But I really thank God that there are still people like you who want to serve as elected officials. So, I say to you, Stephen, thank you for your service, and I wish you the best of luck and success in growing your legal practice. And is there anyone else that would like to say anything further? Okay, so do I have a motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Okay, we're adjourned.